everyone, my name is Fiona and welcome back to the Homestudies Channel. Have you ever struggled to talk about your experiences in English or been a little unsure how to describe something that happened in the past but is still relevant today? If so, you're in the right place. Today we're going to talk about the present perfect tense, which is a crucial part of English grammar. So let's get started. Present perfect tense in English is used to talk about actions that happened at an unspecified time in the past, and actions that started in the past and continue to be relevant today. So understanding this tense is pretty useful, and it's going to help you express a whole range of ideas more accurately. So the key points we're going to cover today are experiences, how to talk about them, unfinished actions, and also recent actions. But first, let's take a look at the structure. For affirmative or positive phrases, we use the subject, usually a pronoun, I, you, we, he, she, they, or it, plus have or has, and the past participle. For example, I have eaten. For negative sentences, we use the subject, plus have or have not, which in the abbreviated form would be haven't or hasn't, plus the past participle. For example, I haven't eaten. And then for the question, we start with have or has, plus the subject, whoever or whatever it is, plus the past participle. For example, have you eaten? Now let's explore the three main uses of the present perfect tense. First of all, we're going to talk about experiences. So we use the present perfect to talk about experiences that we've had in our lives, but without specifying a specific time for when they happened. An example could be, I have visited Malaga. Okay, this tells us that at some point in my life, I visited Malaga, but it doesn't specify when. A different example could be, I have tried sushi, or she has tried sushi, meaning that I or she has had the experience of eating or trying sushi at some point in her life, but she doesn't specify when that exactly happened. The second of the main uses of the present perfect is to talk about unfinished actions. So we use the present perfect to talk about these actions or events that started in the past, but continue to the present or continue to be relevant to the present. For example, she has lived here for 5 years. That tells us that she started living here or in a certain location 5 years ago, and she still lives here now. Okay, she continues to live here. That action is not finished. Another example could be, we have known each other since childhood. Okay, we met in childhood at some point when we were young, and we are still friends today, and we will probably continue to be friends in the future. And the third main use of the present perfect is to talk about recent actions. Okay, so we're talking here about actions, again, that happened at an unspecified time in the past, but have relevance in the present. For example, they have just finished their homework. Okay, so maybe these students finished their homework a very short time ago, and that information is still relevant or still valid now in the present. A different example could be, I've just lost my keys. I lost my keys at some point in the recent past, but I don't know when, and now I can't find them, and that information is relevant and valid now in the present. So here are a couple of tips to help you when you use the present perfect tense. The first tip would be to keep an eye out or an ear out for adverbs like just, yet, never, recently. Like we saw in some of the previous examples, we often use these in conjunction with the present perfect. An example of this could be, I've already finished my lunch. Or as we saw previously, I've just finished my homework. Okay, these adverbs tell us an approximate time of when something happened. And the second tip, something I would recommend, is that you really examine the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. Okay, these are two similar verb tenses that can both be used to talk about past actions or past experiences. But the difference is that the past simple is used to talk about specific times when things happen. So for example, I visited Paris last year. There we have the time marker. It tells us when it happens. Whereas if we look at an example in the present perfect, I have visited Paris. It doesn't tell us when it happened. It doesn't tell us the number of times it has happened, if it's been more than once. So the present perfect really focuses on the result or the general experience rather than the exact time or place when a past action or past event occurred. Let's try a few examples. I'm going to say the sentence in the past simple, and I'd like you to try and convert it into the present perfect. So we will tell you the answers in just a moment, but if you think if you think you know or you want to take a guess, leave a comment down below and we'll be happy to correct you or answer any doubts that you might have. So the first one is past simple. I saw that movie last week. For putting that into the present perfect, what would change? Have a think about it. Write it down below if you think you know. And here's the answer. I have seen that movie. Okay, notice we've omitted the time marker because in present perfect, it's not included. It's not relevant. Second example. In the past simple, she called him yesterday. Take a moment to think about it. What could it be? Write it down below if you think you know, or pause the video. And the correct option is, of course, she has called him. Okay, again, we've omitted yesterday, which was the time marker for the past simple, which told us when the event happened. We don't need that for the present perfect. And for the third and final practice sentence, in the past simple, we would say, they started the project in January. Have a think, pause the video, let us know your ideas. And of course, the present perfect version of that would be, they have started the project. We don't need the time in January. So we're focusing just on the event that occurred, not when it happened. Let us know if you got them all correct. Good job. And that's all for today's lesson. So I hope this video about the present perfect tense has been useful. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe to our channel so you get a little notification every time we release a new video. And please leave a comment down below if you have any other questions about this topic. Maybe there's been a tricky sentence that's come up in your homework and we can help you with that. Just don't tell your teacher. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. See you next time, guys. Bye.